Hello everyone and welcome to Mr. Brown's how-to videos. Today I'm going to show you how to create a Google Classroom and also show you a classroom that I made for my class last year and how to use it um, effectively throughout the school year. First thing I would do is click on the Google Apps icon, find Google Classroom, and this is the page that you'll see. This is the class that I created last year that I keep as a reference every year. When creating a classroom in Google Classroom, you'll click the plus icon and you'll have the option of joining a class or creating a class. The join the class option is for your students, or if you were to join a class for professional development, you want to click on create a class and these boxes will come up. So what you want to do is you want to title your class with something that you will remember and that your students will recognize. The subject you teach, and hit create. The first thing that comes up is the stream. And on this stream, you can post assignment updates, you can post announcements, you can post links to assignments, you can post links to resources. Typically, what I post on this page is the agenda for the class daily. So what we're going to be doing that day, if there's going to be any homework, if there's going to be any tests or quizzes coming up, anything to that effect. In order to post announcements for your class, you'll add or announce something to your class right here. When you click on this, it pulls up the class that you're going to be posting it to. And if you have multiple classes, you have the option to post to multiple classes here. And then you'll type in your announcement for the day. So today is Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. And today we are learning how to create a Google Classroom. Now you also have the option of adding something from your Google Drive, whether that's a Google Form, Google Doc, Google Slides, Google Drawing, anything to that effect. You can add a YouTube video to this as well. I often use instructional videos on the topic that we're studying, and it's very helpful to students. You can upload a file if you have a Word document or anything like that, PDF, you can upload those files, or you can post a link. I'll often post links to quizzes or anything that is a review type material that I can use to supplement my classroom. Um, the other nice thing that I really like about Google Classroom is you have the option to schedule a post, and this allows you to create one the day before and schedule it for the next day. So if you're planning in your planning period, if you're working on getting some assignments laid out for the week and you want to schedule them, you can schedule them throughout the week by clicking on the calendar. And then you can also select the time at which they will release. So since we're not scheduling for this for future, and we're going to post it now, we're just going to hit post. And when your students log into Google Classroom and they click on your class, this is the first thing they will see. They'll see the date and anything that you posted or announced. Um, the classwork tab is where you would assign classwork or an assignment. You simply just hit the create button and then you have several options down here. I typically use assignment because this allows me to import something from Google Drive that I've created, whether it's a Google form, a Google slideshow, anything to that effect, a Google Doc. If I have students typing on a Google Doc, then it allows them to make their own copy of the material, and I'll show you an example of that with the classroom that I've created as well. You can pose a question for the class that they can answer, and it'll come up in basically like an exit or entrance ticket form. You can post material or you can reuse a post that you've done before. Then there's also topics. Those topics are headers for your classwork. So if you want a topic of quizzes, you can put that in there. Topic of homework, you can put that in there at each topic, and you can organize that for the students to easily find. Under the People tab, It has myself as the teacher, and when your students enroll in the class, they'll come on this list here where it says students. And on your stream is the class code, so you can email this to students. You can write it on your board. I typically just put it up big, and I have a smart board in my class, and the students just type this in. And as soon as they type it in and they hit join class, where we saw in the beginning instead of create class, they will start populating here in the people section where it says students, or you can invite them personally yourself. I find it much easier to post this or write it up on the board, and then the students can get right into my classroom and start seeing the first post on the stream. And the last section here is grades. So if you give a student an assignment, or you assign a project, or you assign a Google Doc, or slideshows, whatever it may be, and you give them a grade, all of your students will come up here with the grade that you give them. And again, it has options to select due dates for the Google Calendar, your class drive folder, and then there's settings that you can add and subtract from. Now, to show you what I use my classroom for, this is a class that I used last year. I just changed the name and I use it for planning each year to kind of guide myself. I have some hidden classes down here that are my professional development classes, and administrative classes that they have us join where they post announcements and everything as well for us teachers. But this is what my class looks like. So here's what a few of my stream posts look like. I put the date, what we were doing in there. Here is some slides and some Look It games that I added by link. And these are a slideshow. So if I had the students click on this, it goes right up to the slides that I created for them, and they can view those only. They can't edit them. I have the capability of editing because they're my slides. But you can see these date back all the way to May because that was the last time I used this class. And they have all of the things that I've been assigning throughout the year and that we did throughout the school year. Um, this is the classwork. I don't have as much classwork here because a lot of my work is paper pencil, but I do have my favorite number project for the students. And you can see that I graded all 27 of the projects. Here is the project template. So when the students open this, they get a blank template that they make a copy of, and then they get to make their own. So if I were to click on this graded part, we could see some of the students that turned it in. And then if I click on a student here, I can actually see their project pulled up and their favorite number, go through, and here's the graded piece that I was referring to last time. Okay. And then the instructions, again, that I created for the assignment. So to get back to that, on the left-hand side here, I just clicked the 24-25 math class because that's the title. If I wanted to switch in between those classes, I could then click on the class I just created for you guys, and do that. The customization tool is kind of nice if you have multiple classes. You can change colors, so each class has a separate color. And you can select photos. You can upload your own photo if you have one that you want to use that's specific to your school banner or school background, whatever it may be, or they have default ones here from different subjects and different areas of school. I typically use the default ones because they're a little bit easier, and they have a nice separation of colors here that allow for a little bit of differentiation. So that's Google Classroom in a nutshell. I really find it effective to reach out to all my students, including the parents. I will post conference information on here and post links to my conference, Google Form sign up. I will post assignments on here, daily agendas. So it has a lot of flexibility and a lot of options to do different things with. Um, and just to give you an example of what, again, like I post on there, here's my stream. Here's an example of a favorite number project that I created for the students. Again, if I click on that, it pulls exactly this up for the kids, and they can start typing away at it, and they can use mine as a reference as well. But it's really effective if you're, language arts, social studies, science, and if you want to make a template in Google Slides or a Google Doc, it automatically generates a copy of that for the students as well. when you create this. And this is what it would look like if you were to create assignment. Call this class assignment. And you can put your instructions in here that you want the students to do, the point value that it's worth, the due date that you want to select. And again, you can type it in or you can click from the calendar. You can assign a topic with it. And if you're going to upload something from your Google Drive, you'll just click on your Google Drive and all your files will come up from that. And you can do it. You can see some of the things that I've created already that are on here, that the students have used, and some things from the class that I've made as well. So it goes directly to your Google Drive. If you want to attach a YouTube video to it, you can do that. If you want to create a file, you can do that as well. So you can be really flexible here. Typically, I create something in my Google Drive and I'll upload it. The nice thing about this is you can search for it. So here's my template for that, and I add my template. So you can select the option for the students to either view it, they can edit it. I always check make a copy for each student. Okay, so when I assign this, when the students click on the template, it automatically will ask them to make a copy of this slideshow in their own Google Drive, and they can start editing it. This kind of stops them from changing the original template, allowing access to your original template, or just viewing it and not being able to type in it. All right, so that's exactly how you would create an assignment. And then again, who you assign it to, you can pick here. And if you have multiple classes, all your classes will show up on under this tab as well. And then to get back to that home screen to see all of your classes, you would click home. If you attach your Google Calendar to it, it'll be under calendar. And there's a lot of new features with Gemini that you can use as well. Down here is all the classes that you're enrolled in as well. And that is my how-to video on Google Classroom. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Please leave feedback in the comments if you have any questions or if you need to see something else.